everybody to our channel. I'm Nikki.
And I'm John.
This is Nikki and John, baby. Today we're going to talk about Fall 2022, directed by Scott Mann. This film stars Virginia Gardner, Grace Caroline Curry, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Yeah. And Mason Gooding.
This is the one, people. Okay, so buckle up. There we go. Are you ready, people? To see history be made. Okay, shut up.
So we start the film off with three friends climbing a mountain. Sadly, the male that's with them, which is one of the girls' husband, falls to his death. So then we flash forward quite some time later. Their friend comes back and finds wife of the deceased in a really bad state. Alcoholic, doesn't want to do anything, doesn't go climbing, doesn't do anything anymore, has been estranged with her father, who is always trying to help her and get her back on track. Comes and says, hey, let's climb this tower, this TV tower. It's 2,000 feet tall.
That's crazy.
They don't use it anymore. It's abandoned. She wants to do it for her online persona, to help get more clicks, more views, and to spread the ashes of their friend that died. So, of course, they embark on the journey to go to this tower. They climb the tower, and what happens? Well, it's really old and really rusty, so part of the ladder falls off, and they can't get back down, and they're stuck up on this thing for days. It's a fun little ride, but I'll tell you, me being afraid of heights, watching it, and every time you're looking down and looking around, I got nervous. And I was like, it was physically kind of hard to watch it if you're afraid of heights, because I think they did a really good job making it look like they were 2,000 feet up, which is terrifying to me. Yes.
But, a lot of people share that same fear. I honestly, I enjoyed this film. I did have trouble trying to watch it a second time. I think it was just too, I guess nowadays I'm going to put it, like the girl's, hey guys, and I'm like, oh God, I can't do it.
Yeah.
And then the girl's like, just be yourself. And she's like, well, I need to do it for, and I get why she does it. That's the way people get ahead like that, in this today's world. But I'm just like, please, for the love of God, you're cute by yourself. You don't need that. I like the scene. It's more towards the end, and she's by herself. It must be like day 4 at this 5. It could be 5 at this point. But you really don't know.
I'm not exactly sure how many days and nights go past.
Yeah.
But it's been a couple days for sure.
But I like the scene. I got really excited because there was a storm rolling in. I don't know if she was hallucinating that or if it really came through, because I was like, oh man, this is gonna get good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it just fades to black. I'm like,
yeah, they kind of missed an opportunity there. Yeah.
I was a little mad. And I was like, well, it's not based off a true story. So I'm like, well, keep it going. Yeah, you're hanging off I don't know. I've watched Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible so many times hanging off shit, and it's Tom Cruise, so he's really doing it. And it's like, right. I mean, it's a good movie. I just, I wouldn't watch it again though.
I think this was my 3rd time watching it. So watching it this time and knowing what happens, I was kind of trying to pay attention to some of the other little details in it. You find out that the friend is dead. She fell on the satellite and is dead. Rewatching it, seeing when she does get pulled up and you think that she's alive, you realize that she doesn't take any water. She doesn't touch anything. She doesn't activate the drone when she knows how to use it better than the other girl. She doesn't climb up to plug it into the light like the trick she showed her at the hotel or whatever, that the canteen that they were at or whatever. She doesn't do any of that stuff. She doesn't offer to do any of it, but she does say that her hands are hurt. That's why it makes her think, oh, you can't touch anything because your hands are all messed up. But when the realization, when she's like, well, why don't we use your shoe? She goes, well, we can't use my shoe because my shoe's not here. And she's like, what? And she's like, shoe's down there because I'm down there. That moment, I was like, The first time I watched it, I was like, oh my God. And then the second time I'm watching it, I'm like, okay, let's see. Does she touch anything? Does she actually help, or is she just talking to her? And she's just talking to her the whole time. But her demeanor changes quite a bit as that progresses too. And she actually looks more pale. Looks like she has more blood on her face and stuff as it gets further into that. Realizing that she did see her friend lying dead there, but she's just hallucinating that she's up there with her because she probably lack of water, lack of food. She's seeing things, which prompts her to, fake dead to get the buzzard, or, to attack her. Well, she has other plans. And she, that must have been the nastiest meal she's ever eaten. But at the same time, must have felt so good to like get some fuel, get some strength, and try this new plan at the end. But yeah, emotional roller coaster the whole time for me. Just because of the height thing, man. I
think they did pretty well with everything, all in all. I don't know what it was. I just couldn't like it completely. I mean, it was okay. I don't know. It just didn't really spark me up.
Watching it too, I'm thinking, why are you so stupid doing this? Like, you only brought one line of rope with you. Like, you guys are climbers. You should have like way more equipment with you. Whether you're going up there for a few hours or not, you should always bring food and water and stuff with you. Because honestly, this thing is old and you can tell how rusty it is and stuff. Did they not think of any of that? It's creaking the second they start walking up on it. And that moment when one of the rungs breaks off and drops down, I'd be like, how many more other rungs could break right now?
Yeah, I probably would have turned back too.
I feel like they're just being stupid. But you know what? People do stupid things like that all the time. So it is somewhat realistic.
I get where they're coming from. The one girl, she's so lost and she just wants to feel alive again. The other girl wants to push her because she knows that she's going down that dark hole. She's like, well, your dad called me because he had no one else to call.
Yeah.
So, right. She has to kind of prove it to herself, which I get. People do crazy things in crazy moments. But the only thing I'm like, yeah, they're professionals. They would have zipped right up and zipped right down. No need for. I get that. You think you got it. But at least. Yeah. The only thing I was disappointed about, I'm like, check that fucking thing out first. Make sure. And if one thing fucking breaks, get the fuck out.
Like, I would have been like, yeah, I think I'm done. Like, once I got out of the little caged area, I would have been like, you know what? I know it's another 30 feet, but I'm done. This is it. This is as far as I go.
Yeah.
And I'm going right back down.
A fun fact for you.
The actresses weren't expected to do their own stunts, but they chose to do their own stunts, which is pretty amazing. They had to get in pretty physical shape for this. Because when you see them hanging by one arm and falling, they're really doing that. I mean, they do have safety harnesses on in reality, but that'd still be scary as hell. Especially the scene with the camera attached to the ladder and it falls back and she's like, whoa, whoa, and then it falls again and then the whole ladder's gone. Absolutely terrifying. Where it wasn't really a 2,000-foot tower that they were climbing. It was a 100-foot one that they had built in resemblance of a real 200-foot tower that's in California. It was a TV radio tower, which is now abandoned. They don't use it. Why did they leave this thing there? I don't know. Real people have actually climbed it and parachuted off of it. Like base jumping and stuff, which is insane because this thing is old and it probably is rusty and that's just pure downright dangerous and it is illegal, but people do it.
But that's how
three funds rolled into one. But
that's the point of it. People, those girls were thrill seekers. That's what they liked. So yeah, dangerous, bring it on.
Originally, there was about 30 F-bombs dropped in this movie, which makes sense because I wouldn't be safe friggin' if I'm on top of the thing and they're stealing my car down there. I'd be like, I'd be losing it. So what they had to do is they digitally changed their lips a bit and how they deep fake and all that stuff. They basically use that stuff to changed their lips a little bit so that they could change it from a R rating to a PG-13 rating, so they could have a larger audience to be able to go see this movie, which makes sense, because you know you want to get as much audience as you can, because it wasn't a big budget movie. It wasn't. I didn't even hear about it till it was already out. So
I didn't know about it until you told me. So
fair. I'm going to give this movie a 3.9 because it did have me on the edge of my seat. I did really enjoy it, even though it petrified me, just due to because I'm afraid of heights. But I would have given it a higher score had we maybe, I feel like we should have got a little bit more flashbacks maybe of the other characters and the relationship between the husband, or even more with the father, to understand why he didn't like the husband. They didn't really touch on that much. So, 3.9 for me.
This one for me just didn't hit as high on the scale because I just felt like I honestly fell asleep. I give it a 2. Ooh.
Oh, low.
I'm sorry. I hate to do that because this is somebody's like art. I mean, the story was really good. It was very different. That I liked, but I was so pissed. I would have gave it at least like a 3 if that storm was like. That pissed me off. That actually like caught my attention. And I'm like, oh, all right, I'm awake now. And then it was like, it fizzled. What? No.
Yeah, they kind of missed an opportunity.
2. No. 2. 2. That made me mad. I'm sorry, but that really made me mad.
That's fair. I mean, like I said, they missed an opportunity there to have another really intense, crazy scene with a storm happening at the same time.
For next week, I am so freaking excited.
Oh, yes.
Excited. We're going to talk about Tenacious D, Pick Up Destiny. I'm so excited.
Yes. Now, as far as musicals go, this is my favorite musical.
Yes.
I don't even know if you call it a musical, but I mean, there's a lot of musical numbers in it, so it's a musical.
Yeah, if you want to get technical, it's definitely like a rockin' movie. I love it. It's funny. Oh God, I love it.
Yeah, so that should be really fun.
Yeah.
And I hope everyone comes and checks out that one. If you made it this far, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment. Let us know what other movies you think we should be watching.
Baby.